sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report from Midtown Garage here in Midtown, Oklahoma City. I'm Rick Heath, with me Mark Rodgers, and this first segment sponsored by surfandturfgolf.com. Surf and Turf Golf, where you can get a boomer hat like this for OU next Friday, or you can get all kinds of Thunder gear at surfandturf.com, surfandturfgolf.com. And Mark, we got OU Alabama college football playoffs next Friday, something that's never happened for the University of Oklahoma.
Well, it's a game that I didn't anticipate happening. Didn't think we'd have a rematch in that spot, but I think that's great news for Oklahoma, is that they get to play a team that they've already beaten, that I don't think is playing its best football at the end of the season. So OU was able to get wins, forcing the Alabama quarterback to turn over the football, and since then they've struggled on offense. And so I think this is a good matchup for OU, having the home crowd behind them, and I like their chances of advancing.
I like it also. You know, when OU went to Alabama earlier this year and won, it was like, whoosh, let's get out of here. You know, it's like whistling past the graveyard. You know, As long as you're whistling, nothing bad happens. And they got out of there with a victory. They had no idea that they would be facing that team again. But like you said, I think they feel good about facing Alabama.
Yeah, I think so. It's not the same Alabama team as we've grown used to under Nick Saban. Second year under Kellen DeBoer. I think they're still trying to find their way a little bit, but they don't run the football very well. They do have a good base of talent on the offensive line, but they just haven't really gelled this year, and they ran for -3 yards against Georgia in that championship game last week.
And it is tough to win 2 times in a row against the same team. Look, Alabama beat Georgia. Georgia pretty much put a whooping on Alabama. It's not the same team. I spoke to a diehard Alabama fan, and I said, what do you think of Kalen DeBoer? He goes, he's okay.
Yeah.
They're not thrilled with Kalen DeBoer. So the best thing Kalen DeBoer could be, if he gets beat this coming Friday, is take the maize and blue money and go north to Michigan, because you know what Alabama will say? We'll help you pack.
If they lose, yeah, I think they probably will, yeah.
Because next year, if they lose against OU, that seat will be electric if he stays.
Right.
So, he buys himself 5 years, a nice contract, goes to the maize and blue up in Michigan, and doesn't have to worry about the crazy Alabama fans, because the Alabama fan I talked to is not thrilled with Kalen DeBoer. He's not the type of coach they want. They want somebody named Bear Bryant, or Nick, or something like that, not Kalen. So anyway, that's what they tell me. Hey, we're going to have fun today talking OU Alabama on the Oklahoma Sports Report from the Midtown Garage here in Oklahoma City, and we'll be right back.
If you've been in an automobile accident, you need expert medical evaluation and care. Just like in football, every team needs a leader to reach the goal line. Dr. Lopez will be the quarterback of your care. With a trusted network of specialists, he makes sure every part of your injury is treated the right way. As a board-certified, fellowship-trained trauma specialist, Dr. Lopez brings years of experience to your recovery. Concussions are often overlooked, but we use the iBox concussion system, the only FDA-approved office-based device for detecting concussions. Play it safe. Get checked out without delay. Call the OKC Car Crash Clinic at 405-86-CRASH today. Your health is too important to wait.
Mark, one of our good friends, T&W Tire, is sponsoring us this year. Talk to us about T&W Tire.
Well, we love T&W Tire. They're the sports animal locks of the week, so you're always going to get some good advice on that. T&W Tire started off in Oklahoma in the 80s with 5 locations, and they've grown to 30 locations that are all across the Southwest, Midwest part of the United States. So if you need tires for a fleet of vehicles, that's what they really specialize in. They do a great job with that. But T&W is more than just tires. If your car has the check engine light on, you can roll in there, oil change, they do it all. They'll usually give you a diagnostic exam for free when you go in there. So check them out, man. They do great customer service. Love the guys at the location on 25 North Council Road over there, but they've got locations all over. As we said, great family-owned business.
The Garage is more than just a place to fix up the classic car. It's also a place to watch an instant classic. Or write the next great classic rock song. The Garage, the place to keep it classic.
Charles, I do quite enjoy Oklahoma, but I do declare I miss the pub. Oh, Michael, you silly muppet. Why don't we just go to Pub W? You plonker. Pub W. It's Oklahoma's pub with all your favorites. Fish and chips, pigs in a blanket, chili lime chicken salad, and of course, whiskey. You said whiskey, my good man? Indeed I did. Pub W. Oklahoma's pub.
Welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath, and this segment is sponsored by T&W Tire. T&W Tire Company you're familiar with. Mark?
Hey, I was just there yesterday. I got some new tires on my car, and so they can help you with your own personal car. They can also help you with a fleet of vehicles. They've been around for 40 years, same family, operating in the state of Oklahoma and beyond. There's a T&W Tire location near you. So, highly recommend those guys.
You bet. Great group of guys, and they're sponsoring this segment here of the Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark, it's been almost 3 weeks that OU's offense has had a chance to kind of heal, number one, and number two, kind of reevaluate what they do well and what they can do moving forward in this game.
That's a great question. Right, during the regular season, you would think that, hey, from week to week, they can try to fix some things. For a while, they were able to run the football. They got banged up at the running back position. And so you hope that most of the offense will enter this game healthy. And, you know, at different times, they've had success doing different things. Throwing the ball to the tight end early in the year really worked. Jared Kanek got third team All-SEC as a tight end. Isaiah Satania has been a great player for them all season long. So I think you really just need to examine what's worked. You need to take some shots to Satania due to his speed. And you hope that John Mateer plays with more confidence, or a little more poise might be the better word, because I think he is a confident player. But the quarterback position, I think, has to evolve a little bit, and hopefully this break will give them some time to feel more comfortable on offense.
Well, you know, and Ben Arbuckle, I mean, if he is the guy that OU needs moving forward, should be able to design some type of offense that will contribute to John Mateer's confidence, that will take advantage of the difference makers they have, like Satania, like Kanek. You know, and it'll help if X gets healthy, Blaylock gets healthy, John Mateer gets a little more mentally healthy. Mm-hmm. But here's what I think the main thing they need to do is they need to involve John Mateer in the run game. There's no tomorrow, don't hold back. He needs to run the ball 10, 12 times, maybe even more.
Yeah, I think he needs to be more confident when he takes off. Because a lot of the designed run game that they have in the RPOs, they've not excelled in the RPO game this year. Now, RPO is a great play concept if the quarterback is really good at running it. And so I don't know if they may take some of those responsibilities away, call more run, call more design quarterback run. But it's just been an area in which Mateer, it seems like he is sped up and he's not comfortable. Sometimes the reads aren't very natural for him. So I think that's one area that we could see something a little different, is maybe less RPO in the playoffs.
He ran for 800 yards last year. Mm-hmm. 800 yards for a quarterback. I mean, that's unbelievable. And they haven't utilized him enough running the ball. Okay, now whether it's the RPOs or run design or the lack of blocking,
Scramble
I don't
runs.
know.
Yeah.
But he needs to run more, whether it's a scramble or whatever. And Satania needs to touch the ball. He's a difference maker. Mm-hmm. Deion Burks can make things happen. As you said, Jared Kanek. Jared Kanek disappeared in the middle of the year.
Right.
I mean, they quit giving him, or finding him, and he was one of the most reliable receivers for Mateer. So all that put together, the offensive line has slowly, started to come around a little bit better than they were the first year. And I think the 3 weeks will help them have some continuity. But I think it all comes down to Ben Arbuckle and how he can design an offense that puts some confidence in John Mateer's pocket.
Yep, no, I agree. And I think the running game has got a chance to be helpful too. But they did not have success against Alabama in the last game. They almost got outgained 2-1 in that contest. So they're going to have to find a way to flip it around, because you can't rely on we're going to get turnovers every week.
And we're going to talk about that in the next segment, because that's still going to be a huge part of what OU is going to need to do in order to win this game. But first off, they got to have some drives, some sustained drives in order to win this game on Friday. Hey, we're at the Midtown Garage in Midtown, Oklahoma City, where they have Rad Hour every day, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. They got $3 domestics, $4 wine, $5 frozen cocktails, and $6 draft cocktails during Rad Hour. Plus, they have great food specials also, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. every garage in the metro area. And we'll be right back.
I'm Oklahoma Sooner quarterback John Mateer. My job is to move the ball down the field and get the Sooners across the goal line. If you have been injured in an auto accident, you need a pro to be the quarterback of your medical care needs. Right here is your guy for the job.
Thanks, John. I'm Dr. Martin Lopez with the Oklahoma City Car Crash Clinic. I'm a specially trained physician with decades of training experience to help get injured Oklahomans back into the game of life.
Make your best play. Call and contact Dr. Lopez at 405-86-CRASH or visit okccrash.com.
Reveal the skin you've always wanted with Morpheus 8 at the new Laser Light. Combining the power of microneedling and radio frequency, Morpheus 8 stimulates collagen production to tighten, smooth, and contour your skin. It's a non-surgical solution for scars, wrinkles, and other blemishes, perfect for your face, neck, and body. Experience youthful, radiant skin with minimal downtime. Schedule your consultation today at the new Laser Light and discover a new you with Morpheus 8.
The Garage is more than just a place to fix up the classic car. It's also a place to watch an instant classic. Or write the next great classic rock song. The Garage, the place to keep it classic.
Charles, I do quite enjoy Oklahoma, but I do declare I miss the pub. Oh, Michael, you silly muppet. Why don't we just go to Pub W? You plonker. Pub W. It's Oklahoma's pub with all your favorites. Fish and chips, pigs in a blanket, chili lime chicken salad, and of course, whiskey. You said whiskey, my good man? Indeed I did. Pub W. Oklahoma's pub.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, you need to contact Dr. Martin Lopez at the OKC Car Crash Clinic. There you will be evaluated and treated by a board-certified and fellowship-trained specialist with 3 decades of clinical expertise. Concussions are an injury that are frequently underdiagnosed. At the Oklahoma City Car Crash Clinic, we utilize the iBox concussion assessment system to help further evaluate you. For an evaluation, please contact the Oklahoma City Car Crash Clinic at 405-86-CRASH or check us out at okccrash.com.
And welcome back. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from the Midtown Garage here in Midtown, Oklahoma City, where they have Rad Hour every day, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., food and drink special available. Mark, you know, most of the time, if you're the OU fans thinking, if you give Brent Venables 3 weeks to prepare for an opponent, he's going to come up with enough different game plan to take advantage of the other team's mistakes. But yet at the same time, Alabama's going to make some adjustments. So how does that work out when you have that much time in between games?
I think that this defense for Oklahoma has been incredible this year. They've got depth, and so they have the luxury of rotating players in and out. And I think it comes down to really execution. It comes down to not making a mistake. It comes down to what OU took advantage of in the LSU defense in that final game, where you have a cornerback that blows his assignment, and then all of a sudden you got somebody running down the field wide open, is that this OU defense just has to be assignment sound. I mean, and when Brent calls some of the exotic blitzes and things that he has, that they have to make sure that they're buttoned up and everybody's doing what they need to do, because they got their horses. I mean, people talked about the defensive line of Oklahoma being the best in the SEC at the beginning of the season. I think it's lived up to that. They weren't that well represented on the all-conference team.
I was going to say, why is that? I don't know. I mean, of course, now the one that came out was the coaches,
right?
You know, and who knows what part of the coaching staff is making that. You know, it could be some underling down there, and they don't like OU or whatever. Right. But they weren't well represented, even though they were the best defense, some would say, in the Southeastern Conference.
They were on the edge with Taylor Wine and R. Mason Thomas, but they weren't, to me, up front, where I think that's the part of the defense that's been so good is you've got Dominic Williams in there. You've got David Stone, who played so well. I mean, it's Grayson Holton. It just keeps going on.
Jackson.
Jaden Jackson's also that four-man rotation.
Yes, that's huge.
That's been really, really good. And so you couple that with Alabama's inability to run the ball, and you feel like, okay, well, we can do a lot with our other players in terms of getting pressure or coverage on the back end, because we feel so strongly about those front four being able to stop the Alabama rushing attack. And that's why I really do like Oklahoma in this game. They did the hard part this year by going on the road and winning this game. They've got the home crowd to back them up now this time, and I feel pretty good about that.
It's going to be a crazy, crazy night game. Friday night game, unusual, and it's a Friday night game. It won't make any difference. The whole town of Norman is taking off that Friday.
No school.
No school, no work, no nothing. They're all leaving early, getting ready for this game, and so you're right. And the defense, last time they had Peyton Bowen. And Peyton Bowen was last time we talked about this was the OKC Car Crash Clinic Defensive Player of the Game for his interception and touchdown. And OKC Car Crash Clinic is sponsoring this third segment, by the way, of the Oklahoma Sports Report. But Peyton Bowen got that interception. They also got a fumble recovery on a punt. Those are the things you can't count on. So they're going to have to really get the pressure. And I think there's three things that they really need to do. You mentioned one of them, stop the run. Alabama hasn't been able to run the ball very good. Make them one-dimensional. Make Ty Simpson be back there and beat you, okay? Because if that's the case, that defensive front four you're talking about is going to get pressure on him, make him move around. And then the second thing is Ty Simpson healthy?
Right. No, he has not played well in the last month, and maybe there's something to the fact that he is banged up a little bit. And so there are some reports out there that that's the case. I don't think that he's going to be injured any worse, obviously, before the game next Friday, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Well, and then the other thing is all the success they had was over the middle of the field. And the tight end had 8 or 9 catches. He was all world against OU, and that fortunately didn't cost him the game. But they got to figure out some way to have the safety shut off the middle of the field and the tight end.
Well, and don't know the tight end's availability too. He did not play in the SEC championship game against Georgia. So
that's what I was wondering.
Right. That's a big loss for Alabama. He's a good player that came in at NIL. So that's a position that OU has a hard time defending based on the way that they line up defensively.
And always, special teams come into play. And last game it was the fumbled punt that OU recovered, and both Tate Sandell, the All-American is what I'm calling him, All-American field goal kicker, and Miller, the punter. I mean, they both had all SEC honors. I mean, and so this special teams doesn't get enough credit, I think, for what they've been able to do, except Tate Sandell, of course, knocking down the field goals. And I mean, that has been a huge asset for OU.
Knocking down field goals and making tackles, or at least causing some disruption on the kick team out there. But yeah, that's a great point, because I don't think that they are in the playoff without Sandell. I mean, his performance at Tennessee was one of the most clutch of the season.
Yeah, and that's what I think is going to happen. Hey, this is the Oklahoma Sports Report with Mark Rodgers and Rick Heath, and this segment was brought to you by the OKC Car Crash Clinic. If you've had a car crash and you need immediate help, call OKC Car Crash Clinic. They will help take away the pain financially and physically at the OKC Car Crash Clinic. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Rick Heath, Mark Rodgers, Oklahoma Sports Report from the Midtown Garage here in Midtown, Oklahoma City, where the garage has rat hour. Each of the garages around the metro area, rat hour from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. They have food specials and drink specials during rat hour. So don't forget, it's every day, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at all the garages, rat hour for discounts on drinks and food. Mark, let's talk a little bit about the other games in the college football playoff. OU and Alabama is Friday night, and then Saturday has the rest of the games, of which Oregon, James Madison. That's probably the biggest potential blowout in the college football playoffs.
Well, yeah, James Madison's got a good team. I think what you're going to see now that you've got 2 group of 5 teams in here is the powers that be in college football trying to figure out a way how they can get rid of the group of 5 teams being in the college football playoff. I'd love to see one of the group of 5 teams play really well. You know, it'd be great to have this game go down to the wire. I just simply don't think that James Madison has the horses.
Can I respectfully disagree?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be close. I want them to get blown out so that we get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because instead of having those 2 teams who have no chance, Tulane might have a chance against Ole Miss, probably not, and James Madison doesn't have a chance. I'd rather see the teams that were more deserving. Everybody talks about Notre Dame. I got no sympathy for Notre Dame. Notre Dame made their bed. They got to lie in it now. But I would rather have them have that first round. Oregon, Notre Dame. OU, Notre Dame. Oregon, Texas. I mean, any of those would have been better than having those 2 group of 5.
Yeah, I'm
group
with
of
you.
4, excuse me.
Oregon, Ole Miss. I mean, Vanderbilt at Oregon, something like Notre Dame and Ole Miss. I mean, yeah, those would have been great games. It's too bad that they've set it up this way.
I think next year's different. I cannot imagine anybody being okay with how this ended up this year, especially the powers to be. Greg Sankey's okay with it because he got his teams in, but he would like to have gotten 2 more.
Right. It was going to be a controversy no matter what. If you'd have put Alabama, if you'd have moved Alabama out and Notre Dame in, that would have angered the SEC, and so someone's not going to be happy. Even if you had no group of 5s in there, there'd still be some complaints. But I think that it would make for better games, better television, more money for the conferences.
Well, and that's where they're all going. That's where it's all going. They're going to expand the playoffs, more money, more TV, more viewers. That's what's going to happen. Okay, Texas A&M, Miami, probably the best game besides OU Nebraska. OU Alabama.
Yeah, I like this game. I think that A&M gets a win at home.
I do too. I think that's pretty good. And Miami got in because BYU lost. If they with BYU wouldn't have lost, Miami wouldn't got in. So they're kind of in the skin of their teeth. Ole Miss, Tulane, they've already had that once this year.
Yeah, and Ole Miss won that game rather easily. Tulane now going through a transition without their head coach. Tulane program's been solid over the last couple of seasons, but I think Ole Miss is going to win this.
Well, and I think they win it quite handily. I think it's double-digit wins, and so, again, Tulane, hats off to them, hats off to the coach. They lost the coach. They're not going to be anywhere near motivated like they would be if it would. All right, let's talk about the OU Alabama. How do you think that first half and how do you think that game's going to start out with these 2 teams?
Well, I do think, with scripts and offense and as good as these 2 offensive coaches are in this game, that we will have some points in the first quarter and first half. I mean, I think it will be tough for defenses to stop that. Very important, again, early to take care of the football. You don't want to have turnovers early and say get yourself in a hole where you're down a couple of scores because that makes things really difficult for each of these offenses to overcome. So I say quick start for OU is very, very important, and especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, and last game I picked, just like the majority of the people in the world picked Alabama. Okay, this time I'm picking OU, but it'll be different because, as you said, the first game, take the unders. I mean, it was going to be a tough defensive struggle. We all knew that. And I think you're right. I think they're going to score a few more points. So I don't know that it's not going to be an offensive explosion.
Right.
But I still think, maybe 14-13, 14-10, something like that in the first half. Whoever is ahead at that point, I don't know. You'd like for it to be OU if you're an OU fan, but you don't know. But I think it'll be more scoring the first half than it's been. But I think OU wins this game and 21-17, something like that.
Okay, I can't. Anytime I pick an OU game, you got to pick more than one field goal. So I'll say three.
Let's see. That's 4 field goals.
You got 4 field goals. I'll get 3 field goals and I'll go 23-16 Oklahoma.
There you go, and all that is good. They just need to have a way to to solidify and go play Indiana in the Rose Bowl, and that's all OU fans are looking for. Because this is house money. They've never been in the college football playoffs at home. and the way this is structured, they need to advance. If it's going to be anything that makes OU fans celebrate anymore, is winning against Alabama twice in 1 year, and then go to the Rose Bowl and play the number 1 team in the country.
3 in a row.
And that would make OU fans extremely happy. And then whatever happened after that, it's all gravy. So I got OU winning this one. You got OU winning this one, and all the fans think OU should win also. That's going to do it for this week's show. We'll see you next time on the Oklahoma Sports Report.